Nou, ik had begrepen van Fanie dat het is toegestaan af en toe tussendoor vragen te stellen. Maar willen jullie er ook rekening mee houden dat hij zijn verhaal ook wil afmaken. Dus dat er niet te veel vertraging oploopt. Nou Fanie, ik geef het woord aan jou.
Bedankt.
Ik ga wel op de achterste rij zitten, denk ik.
Okay. I'm just going to do this in English because I mean it's just for me better, and we've got one English person, so I think it's better. Yeah, today we're going to we're going to talk about modernizing your backend with API management. Now, this is a product from Azure. I believe Liesel and Peter have been working with Azure. I don't know if anyone else have been working with Azure yet. Okay, so it's a fairly new subject. So, yeah, first of all, this is me. I'm a .NET EVP. So if we think about it, APIs are everywhere. I mean, this is just 32, I think, of the top ones I've found on programmable web. Yeah, I mean, if you think about what makes a good API, I mean, an API, or companies like these have APIs to allow third parties to connect to them and use their services. Now, what makes a great API, for instance, like Twitter, they've got documentation, they've got interactive console. I don't know if it's there yet, but they've got documentation, and they've got this whole experience for developers to attract them to the platform and to keep them there, because they're actually indirectly monetizing via the developers using their service. If we take a look at what makes a great API, number one, it needs to be simple. You know, you can't have complex APIs. The people won't use it. With that, it needs to be consistent. You need to preempt exactly when you start using the API. You need to preempt what the others will do by using a few of the endpoints. Of course, it needs to be RESTful. REST is a sort of a term that really not everyone understands. You know, representational state transfer. I mean, having a service and have that service just return JSON doesn't make it necessarily RESTful. I mean, if you take Roy Fielding's guidelines and if you conform to that, then it's in essence a RESTful service. A great API also exposes multiple formats like XML and JSON, which is paramount because not all clients uses JSON or XML or CSV for that matter. You must put that power in that on the client's hands so that they can choose what format they want. And of course, documentation, very, very important, because without documentation, it's like a manual. Because you must think about it, developers are your clients. Now I'm talking about it from a publisher's API, from an API publisher's point of view, whereby you put the API on there, your clients, in essence, is your developers. So if you keep the clients happy, you'll keep the developers happy, and they will make awesome apps and they will use your service. With the documentation, also a few APIs have these days a developer console, which allows the guys to quickly go in and just test your API without trying to connect to it or any of that fancy stuff. Just open it up, test it, see what it returns, just have a feel for the data, what it gets back. Next, nice errors, for instance. I mean, if you get a 404 not found, I mean it's a bit of a nice error, but I mean, if you get a server error, what happened? You know, you need to be able to give proper error handling to the developer, saying, okay, this is actually the problem, or your key is wrong, or etc. Using modern security mechanisms like OAuth 2, and allow the guys to allow the publisher to actually see what went wrong, if there's any errors, to actually track it down and fix the bugs. Some of the APIs, API platforms also have the notion of issues where you can actually log in and log issues against the service, which will allow it to be boiled up so that the developers of the API can actually fix the issues quicker. So I've just outlined a few, like what's 7? Azure API Management features. Number one, it's a fully managed developer. It's a fully managed developer site backed by a content management system. So it gives you the power of your own website, fully managed, but it also gives you that that idea of a portal where you can log in and you can add your own APIs from a publisher's perspective, because there are three entities involved: the application talking to the API publisher, and the developer. We'll get to that in a moment. API management also allows for proper API documentation, which we can import using Waddle or Swagger if you already have that formats, or you can just start doing your own documentation, and it will show on the documentation site. It will allow you to do. It will allow you to set up policies, which is quite handy, because not all your services that you have already implemented have, let's say, throttling or rate limiting enabled. So API management allows you to actually build on top of that, build on top of your current infrastructure and putting that extra abstraction layer on top of that. Supports multiple JSON and multiple formats like JSON and XML, and very important, it combines all your endpoints under one unified interface, meaning you have one point of contact. The developer don't need to know that you actually pointing to a different server somewhere else in the universe or whatever. And also very important is users analytics, to give you that insights on actually what went wrong, how your service is used, when is it used, what's the load like, etc. So what benefits do we get out of this? We give the developers a first-class developer experience. Like I said, it's paramount to keep your developers happy. You can modernize your existing backend without any code. You can go in and you can take your existing services, dust them off a bit, and just put this whole managed layer on top of it that lives in the cloud in Azure. It can even your services can even run locally on your local network. As long as Azure can see your services, your API will be managed and controlled. Speaking about controlled, it gives you enhanced security, like I mentioned, OAuth and SSL, and giving you the capability of also rate limiting your APIs. Also, with implementing caching, will lower the risk of denial of service attacks. Yet again, analytics, and also performance and error and real-time statistics of your site. So basically, this is the three parties I was talking about. You have your API publisher, you have a developer, and you have your app. So the developer obviously creates an app. You, the API publisher, or the person that has this awesome service that he wants to expose to the rest of the world, is actually using, let's say, three base services. One is on your internal network, for instance. One is on your external network, and the other one is, for instance, Twitter or something third party. And you want to be able to give your service in a unified way for your developer, so that he can write an awesome app. Doing this, you will be using API management. API management has three components to it. Number one, a developer admin portal, which the API publisher uses to add his APIs, manage his endpoints, do his documentation, watch analytics, approve applications, because you can put in that feature as well. So if developers upload or submit an application to your site, it needs to be approved. Then also the developer portal, whereby, if you've been using APIs like Twitter, you've actually got to register your application there to get a key and a secret to put it into your app, so that it can talk securely. And lastly, a proxy component that relays all the calls in real time with the proper components involved. Now, currently there's only support for direct relay, but in the future there's VPN and express routes also coming. you can also just by clicking, you can set it up. So this is our scenario. I've built a little scenario to show you guys how we can implement this. We've set up 3 sites, one in Azure with 2 endpoints. An API that just echoes back something. A post endpoint that allows you to save an order. One static XML file on GitHub, and one other service, thanks to Richard, that runs on Tomcat. That just gives you the current time. So the first one is secure, because you have a key and whatnot to access it. The other ones are not. So what you want is something like api.awesome.com, one endpoint you can give your developer that will have 4 endpoints: staff, time, a new order, and for instance echo with a name, for instance. With that, it's all secure. You can add additional security like OAuth 2 and SSL additional and all that stuff. You get documentation, you get an interactive developer console, you get analytics, and you get traceability. So if something goes wrong, you can actually go and see how everything pans out and how did it execute. So no further ado, there's a demo. Thank you, Tanya. Right, so let's see. This is our website, by the way. So this is the Azure API. This is the Azure the Azure portal. There's plenty of components to Azure. It's growing by the month and getting updated as we speak. One of the components that's API management is. Let me just see which my scroll bar. There we go. So it's API management. And I've got already 2 set up there. I'm just going to. It takes about 30 minutes to set one up, so I'm not going to take you through the process of actually setting one up. But it's easy. Just click new. Create API management that's selected for you, and basically click create, and you can set your own name there. Choose a subscription, because Azure works in the subscriptions fashion, where you have a subscription to the service which you pay for. This is free. For developer, is it free? No, I stand corrected because I've got a ultimate subscription. But you get developer and you get the standard pricing. It's quite competitive. I'm not entirely sure what the pricing is. I just have to go and look it up. I will give you the answer later. But in any case, and hopefully that's not taken. Choose organization name, administrator email, and you're good to go. It will provision that site. Like any Azure component, you have this notion of, I've created one, Fixxup. You've got the normal stuff like your dashboard that shows you basic analytics. You've got your scale where you can decide, okay, I want to go switch to standard mode, and you can also have more units. And in here you can actually configure your domains, because ideally you don't want to give your developers or your clients a name with Azure in, because you don't want them to know it's really Azure. And something like api.awesome.com or developer.awesome.com for the docs. All right, so on the dashboard there's this manage button. When you click there, it will open up let me see, something is not right. There we go. Cool. Great. So this is the administrative dashboard that I show you, the API publishers dashboard. So this is what he sees. I know it's a lot of information, but we won't go into much detail. It's just the dashboard just shows you all the statistics and all the events that went on and your usage. On the API tab, you have a list of all your APIs. So I've already set up 2 of them, staff and time. We will add one now. Just to save time, I've just added a few. Now, API management has this notion of products where you can set up. It's more like a grouping mechanism where you can set up your structures. So I've got a free plan and a paid plan. You can add more if you want to, and each plan can work with certain policies that you can set up. So the free plan, for instance, I want to limit it for 5 calls per minute for a maximum of 100 calls a week, for instance, because I don't want guys to kill my server. I actually want guys to pay to kill my server, kind of thing. So that's basically a grouping mechanism. If you look at policies, policies work on 3 levels: on all products, or specific APIs, or specific operations within that API. So you can actually apply policies within any of that levels. We'll get back to that in a second. Let me get my analytics. Hopefully there's something here. Yeah. So you can get more details on your usage here. And then users, groups, and notifications are not really something that's interesting now. Security. You can enable API management REST API, so you don't have to use this portal to work with this interface. You can use your own little app that you've already written in Angular or whatever, and you can use this REST, its REST interface to sort of have your own site act the same way as this is working. I mean, if you and then there's external identities here. You can add like Facebook login, Google login, or Twitter login to your portal. Now the actual developer portal we'll get to into a sec. I just want to find where I am now. Okay, so let's add an API. So what we can do is we can import an API. Like I mentioned, Waddle and Swagger is supported. So if you have a Swagger format or a Waddle format, you just point to it and it will sort of generate your management layer for you from that. If you don't have one, then you click Add New API. So we need to, okay, so first of all, let's add the API for the order. Now I've made one here in Azure that uses, it's a mobile service, this one here. And this basically has 2 endpoints that it exposes, and the one is just a post to get to get something back that says, oh, you've saved this order. And the other one is just an echo. When you say echo my name, and it will echo back your name, just to see how that works. So the web API name, we'll call this the order API. And the web service URL, I'm just going to point it to that URL of my service, which is that little guy, and API. The suffix, well, that's a suffix that comes after your little URL. So if I put in here orders or order, that's how it's going to be displayed. Now you need to link it to a plan. So I'm going to link it to both the free plan and the paid plan. And save. And now we add operations. So the first one is, I'm going to call it a post. And the rewrite path is what it actually is going to rewrite, give back to your initial source one. So you want the guys to see root, and you want to post back, or actually you want to other way around, new, and you want to just rewrite it to that. Now the display name, you can it's a title and description, so you can say this creates an order. You can set up caching, we'll get to that in a sec, and body and etc. I'll show you now existing one looks like. Save, and let's just add a new one. Echo get. We want it to look like, how does it want to look like? Order echo. So echo, and it needs to be rewritten as, well, it's echo, I think. echo order, yeah. You click save. So we have new and we have echo. Just want to see if new works the way we want it to. Okay, that's cool. Right. Now, using Postman, for instance, I should have actually showed you what's the source value. So there's the 4 services that we get from that four sources, or the 3 sources. There were 2 on Azure, and there were 1 on GitHub, and there was 1 on OpenShift, Tomcat. So the one on Azure, the order one, for instance, it will point to the original one points to the fanie1.azure-mobile.net API order, and you can post a bunch of stuff to the service, but it will actually ignore it for demo purposes, and it will just say order created. So if I send this, it will go on, send back nothing. Crickets.
Blame Telcom.
Yeah. No, what's going on? Yeah. And this is JSON. So, but it's not nothing special because management is not involved yet. So just your order was placed. Same with the echo. I've put in my name there, Fanie. It says hello Fanie. We've got a staff list, for instance, on GitHub as an XML file, and there's it's pretty fine. There's the XML of the staff list, and we've got a time thing. I want the current time, which is that. So we've got JSON and XML. We've got unsecure, secure. It's like it's mixed and it's not nice. We want something to be unified. So going back to the portal side, just to get that URLs. So let's browse the other ones that were created. So the staff one, you did remember that it returned XML. So we actually need to go to the portals. So let's log in as a normal developer. Well, let's just log in as administrator, see how this works. So this is this screen is what the client or the developer will see when he goes to developer or api.awesome.com. He will see this site. Very simple, but you can customize this whole thing. You can have the notion of pages, and the templates. The startup template just gives you a few, and it will list your APIs. So the first one, the specific staff one, gives you documentation on the request, and there's all the endpoints. This is one endpoint, the slash, the root one. Gives you a request, and it says you need to specify your key. Now your key you get when you subscribe to a plan, like a free plan or a paid plan. That key you need to send in. And it gives you some code samples, so JavaScript, for instance, or Python. You can literally copy this out and paste it, and it will work with your service. So it gives you that, it gives the developer that expression, that welcome. So yes, we actually welcome you guys to use our service with whatever technology you please. It's a sample response. Now look, it's JSON, this response, other than the other one that was XML. This was JSON. So we expect to see JSON. That's just a sample part of the documentation. But now when you actually open the console, this is what happens, and then it asks you to choose a key. So you can choose between your free plan and your paid plan. Let's just go for the free plan. And then you say, great, I want to do a HTTP GET. There's my headers, but there's my content. My content's, this is basically what the relay was talking about. So it relays back to your staff list XML on GitHub, and it will just bring you back that XML. But it's XML, it's not JSON. So we need actually to have JSON in there. But we don't want to change the back end, we just want to change our management layer. So we do this by using policies. I lost my, there we go. By using policies, and just want to get back in the portal again. So like I said, policies is like rules and whatnot you can set up. And it relates to specific products or specific APIs or specific operations. So in this case, I want all the free plans to, in this case, to convert everything to JSON. But for simplicity, I'm just going to scope it for a specific API. And we add a policy, and this is just how I set it up is with XML. I have no idea why. So you've got this notion of inbound, outbound. So you can do stuff while it's coming in, before it gets processed, and you can do stuff while it's going out, after it's got processed. So in that pipeline. So in the outbound, we want to say, I want to convert. There's this policies here along the side. One of them is convert. What did I click now? Convert XML. Where is that now? Convert XML to JSON. Not this one. Not JSON to XML. Convert XML to JSON. So the first one is XML to JSON, the kind. We just want to say we want it to be direct. We can make it JavaScript friendly if we want to. I want to always convert it. Should I consider accept header? Because I mean, it sometimes will allow you to choose. Do you want JSON? Do you want XML? In this case, I'm just going to say no. Just override everything and just convert it. And now when I save, what you should see when I go back to the console, well, let's just use Postman now. Actually, want to see where my jumping around because I can't really see there. Go to developer portal, open a new tab. Great. We go to the staff list now. Now what we should see when we open up the console and execute this thing, we should see JSON coming back. And there we go. So you can actually build a nice app that works on your fridge, that reads the stuff out on your fridge using JSON, for instance. In any case, so what's left? Let's say, for instance, your API gets hit a few times. You can add rate limiting to the thing. So let's just use the staff example again. Just want to use that. Subscription key. You can choose your key, so I'm just going to say I want to show that key. Use that key. Okay, use Postman. There we go now. Postman, APIs, staff. So this was executed. Use Postman, and we add this guy in there. Make sure there's no headers, there's no nothing. Okay, so there's the JSON we get back. So we can kill this thing. We can say, oh, but now you see the rate limit kicked in because of the plan I'm in. So if I switch this, if I switch my key to a different plan, it will still allow me to continue using the system. So it says, okay, rate limit exceeded. Please try again. Is this actually? Can you read there? Rate limit exceeded. Please try again in 41 seconds. And when I execute again, okay, 15 seconds. Come on, we don't have time. 12. Okay, 9, 8. And you can do a few things. You can either set a fixed rate limit, or you can say, you know what, have it per time so that it can expire. There's it again. So it actually blocks your call before it actually gets to the internals of the API. Yes. So let's log in now as a developer. Before I want to log in as a developer, I want to show you how this developer portal, you can customize the developer portal. As an API publisher, you don't want all your sites to look the same, or like the basic templates. You want to be able to customize it in a way so that it can look nice, so that you can attract developers. So we just click on appearance, begin customization, and the whole Bootstrap styling will, because it's using Bootstrap behind the scenes. If you go left, you can go and actually pick an element. Let's say, okay, I want to use. Let's do the menu bar. So the menu bar, let's choose a nice color. Navbar default color, I don't know. Let's make it green. What did we change now? The background color there. But you get the point.
Really small line, really thin line below.
What's happening? Yeah. I actually want to select another element. Let's say click. Let's just choose that one. Text muted, text small, very light. Does it work? Doesn't work. Come on. It's a green line, eh? You can see the green line.
And the red line next to the P, like API has a red line.
Strange. I can't really see there. In any case, yeah, that's doesn't wanna tell like there. But in any case, if you actually take the time, you can actually edit your styles and do the whole style sheets thing going in. You can change the whole thing how you want it. And I'll talk on the correction, but you can actually change your layout as well, because it's driven by HTML and JavaScript. It's just that site. And if you really want to go outside the boundaries, you can just use the REST API and have your own site, plug it in, and it will work. So yeah, that's basically. So we need to log in as a developer first. So I'm going to sign out. This is what developer go into your api.awesome.com. This is what I see. This is a nice company. I actually want to start using this service. So what we all do is click sign up. We give a fake email address and we hope for the best. So hopefully I don't have anything else. Which one do I have now? I think I already have that one. Let's just see. Password. I'm not this for this stuff. I actually want to log in with something else, but I'm not going to use this API because it doesn't have social login. Okay. So what we need to do is as an administrator, manage. Yeah. I'm going to log in there. It's going to take you back to Azure. And you go back again. So fast. There we go. All right. So let's add social login. I've got where's my Twitter feed here? I'm just going to enable Twitter. I've got a few Twitter apps there. I've made so this is the Twitter's version of their API. So it's quite friendly. There's all documentation set up as a user. I logged in, and I'm able to see my applications as keys. So there's my consumer secret. Please don't copy it. My consumer secret and the key. So what as an administrator need to do is you need to go to security, and you need to add external identities, Twitter. You can add Facebook if you want to as well. What do I copy? The key or the secret? That's the key. And that's the secret. Great. Boom. Click save. And let's not do the same thing as the. Let's open. Come on, browse. There we go. So let's do this whole thing in incognito mode. There we go. So I'm as a developer. Now let's try this again. Hey, awesome site. I want to sign up. Cool. It's too much information. Well, where? No, I don't want to. I'm going to sign in now. Hey, there's Twitter. Hey, I'm going to sign in with Twitter. Then it will take you to Twitter. You log in with Twitter. It's actually going to ask me to log in with Twitter now. Something was not right. Okay, let's try this without incognito mode. Something's wrong. There's no internet. Is there? What's this? This whole thing is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, in any case, it will allow you to log in. No, there's something wrong with my keys, most probably. If I regenerate these keys, it will work. Yeah, let's do that. I didn't retest it with this specific application. Go back. Access keys. Make sure it's refreshed. Try it again. In API management, put my key in there. A secret, so it's read only. Will this work? Let's see. My secret in there and save. Cool. Now it should work. It's a glitch or a bug. So Twitter has a glitch or a bug. No. Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time, but yeah, that's basically what it's. So as a takeaway, so it's still early days. I mean, they've just taken this whole thing off preview a while ago, so it's out there. It's usable. The whole idea is to have, because most companies have already an infrastructure. You don't want to go in and change the infrastructure. This can be used as a tool or as a service we can provide our current customers as well, with the power of Azure, give them those capabilities of allowing them to have the APIs more modern. So yeah, that's my session. Any questions? No. Was it so bad? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.